Dr. Emily Darrow is a pediatric oncologist and her significant other, Dr. Joe Darrow, is a trauma center doctor. In spite of the fact that Emily is expecting their most memorable kid, she chooses to join a Red Cross group going to Venezuela. Heavy rains and flooding force the departure of the town where the group is remaining. As she is going to board the transport, Emily phones Joe to guarantee him she is protected. It is the last time he will address her. The transport dives into a stream and is cleared away. Already are suffocated. After Emily's commemoration administration, bizarre things begin occurring. Reviewing that Emily requested that he beware of her patients, Joe goes to the pediatric oncology floor. A kid provides him with a drawing of a wavy cross and says Emily believes him should go there. Joe is perplexed and questions the youngster, however just prevails with regards to disturbing him. Different youngsters have likewise drawing wavy crosses. One reports seeing Emily in a rainbow close to a cascade. At home, the Darrow's parrot large bird is much of the time disturbed and starts hauling his plumes out. Joe takes care of a portion of Emily's possessions, and the following day they are back in view. He fantasies about seeing Emily at the emergency clinic, on a lift and toward the finish of a long corridor. Emily had a little pigmentation on her shoulder. Since it was formed fairly like a dragonfly, Emily frequently purchased things with dragonfly themes, including a den versatile that showed up after her demise. A young lady who fruitlessly endeavored self-destruction is gotten. Joe surrenders her to another specialist, saying he is just keen on assisting individuals who with needing to live. A medical caretaker reports him to the clinic chief, who inclinations Joe to go on vacation, yet Joe denies. He feels nearer to Emily at the clinic. At last he is restricted from visiting the kids. At this point Joe's companions know something odd is going on. They welcome him to supper and acquaint him with a sorrow specialist. She asks Joe to make an arrangement, however he gets over her. He tells his neighbor and companion, Miriam Belmont, about the wavy cross and Emily maintaining that him should go there, any place it is. She thinks Joe is envisioning things and offers her own tale about losing a friend or family member. Huge bird goes wild in the kitchen, and Joe calls Miriam for help since he needs to go to work. At the point when he returns, she shows him a wavy cross attracted a heap of soil from a wrecked vase. The cross is additionally drawn on the windows. Miriam figures Joe did it without anyone's help and beseeches him to find support. Joe visits a religious woman, Sister Madeline, who was terminated from the medical clinic since she exceeded her limits by meeting youngsters about their brushes with death. At first she won't converse with him, however when persuaded he isn't a journalist, shares what she accepts. This persuades Joe like never before that Emily is attempting to reach him. He even theorizes that she probably won't have kicked the bucket, all things considered. Joe's conduct keeps on raising worry at the medical clinic. Everybody thinks he is nearly laughing uncontrollably. One night he is approached to remain with a patient until the kidney relocate group shows up. The man is dead, however his heart is continued to pulsate by machines. Abruptly the man calls out to Joe, 2 times. At the point when the group shows up, Joe will not allow them to contact the man. He gets into a battle and is captured. Miriam, who is a lawyer, gets him the police headquarters. She has conversed with the medical clinic chief, and they aren't squeezing charges depending on the prerequisite that Joe take a drawn-out time away. He acknowledges his companion's challenge to go on a boating excursion and puts his home available to be purchased. While concentrating on a guide, he views as the wavy cross. It represents a cascade. On a guide of Venezuela, Joe finds a cascade close to the town where Emily was remaining. He takes the following trip to Venezuela. At the point when he shows up, he is met by an aide. The town where Joe needs to go is almost unavailable since the flood. Regardless, the aide tells Joe he can't go there without consent. Joe demands going and they get similar to the waterway. The floodwaters have subsided enough so that Emily's transport is noticeable. The aide tells Joe they should return. Be that as it may, he bounces into the waterway and figures out how to arrive at the transport. He powers the entryway open, however the transport is unfilled. His additional weight makes the vehicle float and lower. Very nearly suffocating, Joe sees Emily. She pulls him to somewhere safe and he implodes on the riverbank. At the point when he slows down to rest, the aide is holding on to take him back. However, Joe runs toward the town, accepting that despite everything Emily made do, the locals are dubious and undermine him with their lances. He holds up an image of Emily and they perceive her. The aide makes an interpretation of that Emily came to them through the stream, kicking the bucket. They couldn't save her body, however they saved her spirit. A lady drives Joe into a grass cabin where a young lady is lying in a bin. Finally Joe acknowledges everything Emily was attempting to say to him, that their child made do. He gets the child and sees a skin pigmentation on her foot. The local lady rehashes a word that the aide interprets as dragonfly. He envelopes the child by his shirt and leaves. In a voiceover, he couldn't say whether Emily was sufficiently sane to see the child, nor how the kid endured an untimely birth in the wilderness. However, Emily wouldn't surrender until the youngster was protected in his arms. Quite a long while later, Joe and his little girl are shown playing outside on a delightful pre-winter day. The young lady has Emily's wavy light hair.